Chain smoke your problems away. Smokepit Fairy Tales Part 4, Chapter 30. Fucking my heart in the ass. Thatch and Stockton watched the flames grow inside the grill. Stockton put some old 20th century country music on her speaker that Thatch didn't recognize. The sun still had an hour or two up in the sky, and it was warm enough to only need a light jacket. Thatch lit a cigarette, took a sip of his beer, and mixed onions and mushrooms in a skillet over the flames. Stockton tossed 2 steaks on the grate.
So she got back yesterday?
Thatch stirred the mushrooms.
Yeah, seems like she had a good time.
Have you seen her yet?
Nah, she got in late. She called me a few times while she was gone and asked me if I wanted to go on vacation with her.
That's a big step. Do you think she means it, or could she still be fucking with you?
I think she's done with that. She seems pretty engaged this time around.
How so?
I don't know. She texts me in the morning telling me that she's thinking about me, then calls me to talk when she's, upset about stuff.
Stockton wasn't convinced that Samum was going to treat Thatch any better this time around, but she knew it was Thatch's decision to make. Trying to help him at that point would only damage their friendship.
Okay, man. Good luck with that.
Thatch smothered broccolini in olive oil, wrapped it in foil, and placed it over the coals. Through the smoke, he saw Samum walking up from her barracks. Her hair was a frizzled tangle, and the gym clothes she wore were soaked in sweat. Thatch looked her over. She seemed to have gained about 15 pounds in the last 2 weeks. Thatch extended an arm to hug her as she walked up. Samum put 2 empty plates on the table by the grill, walked straight past Thatch and hugged Stockton.
Hey, how are you doing?
Samum asked cheerily as she wrapped her arms around Stockton.
I'm good.
Stockton shot a glance at Thatch, trying to mentally inquire why Samum was talking to her. Thatch stared at the back of Samum's head, hurt that she was ignoring him.
That's good.
Samum let go of Stockton and backed away about a foot, making sure to keep her back to Thatch.
Will you be joining us for dinner?
Stockton shook her head.
No. I thought Thatch was cooking for you.
Samum shrugged. She turned around and looked at the grill. No attempt at eye contact was made with Thatch. She asked him,
When's this going to be done?
like he was her servant.
Maybe about 10 minutes.
Okay, I'll leave my door unlocked.
Samum pushed past Thatch for a few steps. She turned back to face them and said,
Bye, Stockton.
with a wave. When Samum was back inside her barracks, Stockton lit another cigarette with a wince.
What a fucking cunt.
Thatch tried to ignore what had happened. The wave of anguish that built up wasn't so strong that Thatch couldn't stuff it back down inside of him.
Why are you cooking for that bitch?
I don't know. I thought things would be different this time around.
She completely fucking ignored you.
Yeah, I saw that.
Thatch suppressed his pain.
You deserve better than that.
Thatch didn't know how to answer her. He pulled the steaks off the grill, covered them in the onions and mushrooms, then placed the broccolini on the side of the plates.
I'll clean this up, dude.
Stockton said as Thatch finished setting up the food.
Nah, man, you ain't gotta do that.
No, I'll take care of it.
Stockton shooed Thatch away with the back of her hand.
Get out of here. I'll put this stuff up.
All right.
Thatch appreciated that Stockton was helping him out, despite her disdain for what he was doing.
Thanks, man.
Thatch pushed Samum's door open with his foot. The shower was running and all the lights were out. He used his elbow to flick the switch and set the plates on the desk section of Samum's secretary. He pulled a couple of knives and forks out of his pocket. Samum had mentioned that she didn't own any because she usually ate at the chow hall. Thatch sat at the chair and waited for her to get done showering. He spent about 20 minutes playing games on his phone before the water turned off. He put his phone away so he'd be ready when she came out when he heard her hairdryer flare up. Thatch sank down into the chair, realizing that she was making him wait intentionally. He pulled his phone back out and opened an app to play solitaire. After he'd lost 3 games, Samum walked out of the bathroom with towels around her body and hair. Thatch stuffed away his phone.
Hey.
He gave a small smile. She acknowledged him by raising her eyebrows over a stoned face.
How's the gym?
It was fine.
She said in a flat tone. Samum grabbed a blue skirt and a black top from her dresser and returned to the bathroom to put on her clothes. She returned a few minutes later and sat in her other chair. She crossed her legs and grabbed a plate and silverware from the secretary. She cut into the steak and fed herself. The ants in Thatch's torso got back out their pickaxes and lanterns and reopened the mine in his heart. He wondered what it was he had said or did to make her act so cold towards him. He slowly ate his dinner next to her. Thatch had only taken a few bites when Samum was done eating. She put down the plate and sat square to him.
Thatch?
She turned her head to the floor and glared at him from under her brow.
I don't have a lot of spare time.
All right.
Thatch answered, confused.
I'm extremely busy with work and the gym and getting my personal life on track. If you want me to spend my time with you, my time that's slim, precious, and valuable, you need to be on time for things.
Thatch felt like he should have been insulted and angry by her words, but he couldn't feel anything besides anxiety and heartbreak. He could visualize, almost more than he could feel, a glass heart in his chest, fractured and bleed.
Okay.
He nodded his head. He tightened his lips in an effort to hide the crushing feeling inside of him.
I'm sorry that cooking food took longer than it was supposed to.
Samum nodded slowly, ending the movement with her nose up to him, staring down.
But if you're worried about time,
Thatch proceeded cautiously.
why'd you take so long in the shower?
Samum shrugged.
You had already ruined my night taking so long, so I figured no big deal.
Thatch felt the fracture in his heart crack deeper, and the ants start to strip mine. He wasn't sure, but he thought he heard it breaking through his chest. Samum pulled out her phone and started surfing her social media accounts. Thatch bit back the inside of his bottom lip and forced away the growing sting behind his eyes. He disguised a deep breath as he yawned and stretched his arms. He put the plate of half-eaten food on the secretary and asked.
So what are you doing tonight?
He'd realized that whatever she was going to occupy herself with, it wasn't going to be with him. Samum winced and looked around the room, searching for an excuse, until her eyes met the plates.
I need to go to the store to buy forks.
That was a bullshit answer, but Thatch tried to think of something that might keep her around out of fear that she was going to kick him out.
And how was your cruise?
Samum shrugged again.
It was a good time. I had a lot of fun. Misha kept pissing me off, but that's whatever.
How do you mean?
Well,
Samum leaned back on her bed, resting her back to the wall, never taking her eyes off her phone.
most nights it was good. Then Misha found some guy she liked and tried to get me to go wingman for her. But I know her boyfriend, and I wasn't really comfortable with it. I mean, I did it anyway. But I was like, really? You're going to make me do this?
Thatch thought about how that would work. He'd seen on the internet that Misha had some freakishly aggressive cancer and had to have her vagina removed. He imagined her just having to stick to anal. Samum hopped off the bed and slid on a pair of flats.
I think I'm going to get those forks now.
All right.
Thatch grabbed his silverware and left the room without saying goodbye. When Thatch walked outside between the barracks, there was a fire going in the pit. About 30 Marines stood around it, drinking, smoking, and playing games. Thatch walked up to Chuck and Stockton.
What's up?
Not much.
How was dinner?
Thatch shook his head and huffed.
God, I don't know what the fuck that bitch's problem is.
That bad, huh?
Dude, you don't even know. She came onto the grill in a foul mood.
Fuck her.
Chuck nodded and took a sip of his whiskey.
I hope she has a catastrophic malfunction with a sex toy and burns her clit off and melts her vagina shut.
Totally.
McKenzie emerged from the crowd with a beer in each hand, holding one to Thatch.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem.
McKenzie popped the cap off his beer and took a long gulp.
But seriously, 90% of the women in the Marines are whores. The rest are lesbians.
McKenzie looked around.
And then there's Stockton.
I'm a sailor, thank you.
Stockton defended her service.
And everyone gets so caught up on that shit. People fuck. Get over it.
Yeah, I just don't appreciate being lied to and treated like shit.
Thatch lit another cigarette.
It could be worse. Your dick could fall off every time you had sex, like a duck.
What?
McKenzie asked out of confusion. Chuck continued.
Yeah, man. Ducks' dicks fall off every time they fuck. Then they have to grow it back.
That would make screwing around with different chicks difficult. Like Chuck gets done banging one chick and another skank comes over, pulls off his pants and screams, "Where's your dick?"
Or even worse, what if every time you had an orgasm you switched sexes?
McKenzie pointed with the hand that was holding his beer.
That'd be dangerous.
What would you even do with the vagina?
I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd fuck everyone I could find.
I think I'd be a bit classier than that. I'd wait until I was on the rag, then make a guy dress up like Dracula and eat me out.
Stockton, Chuck, and McKenzie groaned in disgust.
My room would stink like iron and I'd just bleed on everything, marking my territory like a dog.
Thatch laughed at his own joke, trying to cheer himself up.
Gross.
You're fucked up.
Oh, and what would you do with a dick?
I literally just masturbate on everything.
But every time you came, you change back into a chick.
Oh yeah.
Stockton thought for a moment about what the world would be like if she were a man.
I just go around and fuck chicks in the ass.
Don't you already do that?
Well, Carla, yeah. And sometimes Avila likes a finger up his butt when I'm blowing him.
That's very interesting information.
McKenzie didn't want to know that and expressed it in his voice. Stockton sneezed into the inside of her elbow.
Bless you.
Thanks.
Stockton shook her head to rumble her sinuses, then blew snot into the ground. She pulled out her phone and went to her photo manager. She sneezed again, but before anyone could say anything, she sneezed 6 more times in a row. Stockton hacked up a thick wad of mucus and spat it across the pavement.
Dude, go see an exorcist.
But anyway, check this out.
The screen on her phone showed a folder of her engaging in sexual congress with a multitude of people.
Whore.
I do what I want.
And that's why I like you. But hey, I'm gonna go grab a beer and take a piss.
Thatch headed back to his room and flipped through his phone while he relieved himself. He crossed a picture that Samum posted a few minutes prior. Her and Llama were posing and smiling. Their faces filled the frame. Samum's caption read, "I love you, fathead." and Llama replied, "I love you too, Coconut." Thatch was absolutely disgusted.
Going to buy forks, huh?
He zipped up his pants, tossed his phone in the bed, shotgunned a beer, and pulled a bottle of dark rum out of the freezer. He walked back outside and stood in a corner by the door. He brooded, fuming in anger. Malice, anguish, agony, fury, and hatred boiled over the edges of a cauldron inside of Thatch's soul and ran like venom in his veins. He sucked down his cigarette in 4 drags and drank a quarter of the bottle in 1 chug. He smoked a second cigarette slowly and tried to push the abhorrent feelings inside of him out. He started to tell himself not to think, worry, or care about Samum, but he couldn't even form words in his mind without starting to lose control of his body and punch the wall. He took a few more deep breaths, painted a false look of indifference to everything on his face, and walked back out to the fire. When he rejoined Chuck, Stockton, and McKenzie, they had been joined by Bobby, Carla, Rachell, and Morgan. They exchanged pleasantries and chatted about nonsense. Rachell had a 30 rack he was carrying with him. He gave beers to the small group. Thatch chased his lager with the rum.
All right. So this was in the middle of my last deployment.
Rachell started to tell a story.
We were at a port in Avalon, and it was the last day of liberty. I'm drinking at this pub, flirting with the bartender. She's cute. Like real cute.
Rachell animated his conversation with his hands.
I'd been hitting on her all week. Finally, the last day, I get her to take me home. We go back to her place, we fuck, then she ties me to the fucking bed, keeps fucking me until my dick won't stand up anymore. Then she goes to sleep, leaving me tied up. In the morning, she gets up, goes off to wherever, and I'm still stuck to the damn bed. I have to Houdini my way out of the ropes, and then I throw on my clothes and run to the ship. Like I didn't even have time to call a cab. I get to the ship, and I'm 15 minutes past the reporting time. Sergeant Major's up there on the gangplank, waiting for me, and he immediately starts chewing my ass. Then, I tell him my story, and he calls bullshit. Luckily for me, I stuff my pockets with her panties. I pull out this wad of thongs and boy shorts, and then Sergeant Major laughs at me and tells me to get fucking lost.
Most of the group laughed. Thatch kept a straight face and smoked.
Hey, so where's Billy at?
Chuck asked Morgan.
Oh, hell if I know. He's probably out with some skank.
Morgan spat. Chuck hid a smile.
Oh, you guys break up?
Yeah.
Aw, what happened?
Chuck felt fuzzy on the inside. He had been wanting to give Morgan a ride on his baloney pony for a year. Morgan shook her head.
Just bullshit. He's a fucking nutbag.
Chuck knew that Billy was the sane one in their relationship, but Morgan's breasts were large and firm, and her 21-year-old body and her silky blonde hair put the right amount of sugar in Chuck's tea. Thatch kept trying to smoke the paralyzing anger out of his body. He looked past the people around him towards the fire. On the far side of the flames, he saw Samum walk out of the barracks. She was wearing her gray beanie, red jacket, and jeans like she was in the photo she posted less than an hour ago. Thatch sarcastically wondered when she found the time to change, while buying forks.
Hey, Rachell, can I get another beer?
Yeah, man.
Rachell handed him a lager. Thatch took a sip of the beer, chugged half the rest of the rum, and then took another small sip from the can. He lit another cigarette. Samum walked past the people of the fire and stood in the group with Thatch. McKenzie, Chuck, and Carla gave her a brief look of disapproval. Carla, Morgan, and Stockton shot her a look of disgust. Bobby and Thatch tried to ignore that she'd shown up, even though her shoulder was less than an inch away from Thatch and she purposely kept her face turned away from him. They all went back into their respective conversations within the group. Thatch chugged the rest of the beer and asked Rachell for another one. Rachell handed him a beer from the case. Thatch popped it open and took a sip.
These are starting to get a little warm.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's kind of weird considering how cold it is out tonight.
Yeah.
Thatch answered and took another drag.
I should probably go put these in my fridge, but that's on the other side of the barracks, and I don't want to have to walk 5 minutes every time I need a drink.
Rachell said as he cracked open another lager.
My room's right there.
Samum pointed back at her barracks.
You can put them in my refrigerator.
All right.
Rachell picked up the case and Samum walked him to her building. Thatch pushed the rage back down. He had started to shake, but clenched his jaw and smoked through his teeth to combat it. When Samum and Rachell were on the far side of the fire, Morgan scoffed.
Could she be any more of a whore?
Thatch looked at her from over his nose.
What do you mean?
Chuck asked Morgan.
I fucking hate that bitch.
Morgan scowled.
What did she do?
Well, originally I didn't like her because she fucked Billy. And I tried to look past that, but every time I see her, she's just being an asshole.
Thatch rolled his eyes.
Like, the other day, I was sitting in the car with Jackie, who used to date the other Miller, and Nazik fucking walks up and starts running her damn mouth. Neither of us even said anything to her, and she just goes blabbing away. First, she starts talking about how her dog's name is Billy and how much she loves him, saying, Billy, Billy, Billy. Then she's fucking like, don't you think it's funny that we've all dated a guy named Miller? Isn't that weird? Then she starts laughing about it. Jackie and I just wanted her to fuck off.
Morgan pointed at Thatch.
Then you came up.
Thatch shook himself out of his trance.
What?
Morgan nodded.
Oh, yeah. After all the Billy shit, she was like, and Thatch is totally in love with me. Haha. The fuck is that about? That loser thinks he can be with someone like me? Fuck that guy. Am I right?
Really now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know how you actually feel about her, but that bitch is no good.
Morgan took a sip of her drink and readjusted her posture.
Then, like, I'll be smoking up front over there in front of those barracks, and Nazik will come up in her gym clothes and put her leg on the bench next to dudes, and you can see her cooter through her pants. And she'll pretend to stretch out in front of whoever the guy of the day is and groan and say dumb shit like, ugh, I'm so tight. I just left the gym.
Morgan lit a cigarette.
I mean, if I'm single, I'll sleep around a little bit, but I'm not going to make it obvious that I'm fucking half the barracks.
Thatch let out a long, slow breath and lit another cigarette.
Yeah, I think I'm done with that chick.
For real this time?
Stockton rolled her head to look at Thatch, not believing him. Thatch shook his head.
I don't fucking know what the fuck to do. I should probably just let that shit go.
Bobby nodded his head.
Yeah, Lapkin Goody hid it. Apparently she took your paint off of her wall and hid it in the closet. Then she kept stalking him and I had to tell her to fuck off because she kept coming over to my room looking for him.
Thatch rolled his eyes in an effort to disguise his pain as annoyance. He didn't remember the last time, if ever, that Samum chased after him. He felt the light poke in the back of his shoulder. He turned a bit fast and noticed the alcohol was beginning to come into effect. His vision blurred for a moment and his head spun. Thatch shook out the fuzzies and saw Rachell smiling behind him.
Hey.
Hey.
Thatch faked a smile. No disdain was felt towards Rachell from him, but his mind was shot for the night.
What's going on?
Not much. Just saw that there was a party going on back here and figured I'd come out.
Cool.
How's your night?
Chain smoking my problems away.
Everything all right?
Rachell asked with genuine concern.
Chick shit.
Rachell grimaced.
That always sucks. You got a cigarette?
Yeah.
Thatch pulled out his pack.
Hey, come join the party.
Thatch pulled her into their circle and introduced her to the other Marines. Sometime later, Samum and Russell emerged from the barracks. Samum was in different clothes, and her hair was a mess. Morgan mean-mugged her from across the courtyard and let out a slight growl.
What's her problem?
Chick problems.
He checked his watch. Samum and Russell had been gone for about an hour. Thatch had limited success with trying to force emotions away. He thought that maybe reasoning with himself might work.
You know what? We're not dating. That shit's none of my business.
Samum split off from Russell and leaned back, sitting on the ring immediately around the fire. Russell walked back over to the group. His face was red and sweat poured from his face. Thatch told himself.
Maybe that's from the alcohol.
Russell handed Thatch a beer and said,
Hey, man, I know that's like your girl and all.
Thatch opened the beer and stared down Russell, legitimately not knowing if his fists and boots were going to end Russell's sentences or not.
And I don't want any bad blood between us, or for you to think anything went on with us.
You see, now I do think that.
We get in there, I put the beer away in her fridge and start trying to get out of there, and she just, like...
Russell shook his head and offered a slimeball smile.
She starts cleaning her room. She drank a few beers and told me that I couldn't leave until her room was clean.
Thatch was in no way, shape, or form convinced that Russell's story was accurate, but decided to shake it off and try not to give a fuck.
All right, dude. Whatever.
She's a weird chick.
Yep.
Thatch took a drink. Russell looked around, said,
Hey, where's the closest pisser?
And left the area before anyone could give him directions.
I'm calling bullshit on that story.
Stockton crossed her arms.
I'm calling fucking bullshit on that story.
So, do you guys want to go fucking curb stop that piece of shit?
I'll fucking do it.
She hated that Thatch was wound up with a woman like Samum, but there wasn't anything she could do but roll with the punches. And if someone was going to do shady shit right in front of Thatch, she was not going to let that stand. Stockton flipped open her knife and held it down by her leg.
Put that away, Stockton.
But I want to cut him.
And I don't need to go to the brig tonight.
Thatch stared her down.
Quit being a drunk, stabby whore.
I'll stop doing one of those.
Stockton looked at Carla, then back at Thatch.
I'm either fucking a Villo or her tonight.
She pointed her thumb at Carla.
Not today, White Devil.
Carla shook her head.
Yeah, not today, Satan.
Oh, fuck you. Yes, today.
Stockton grabbed the back of Carla's head and stuck her tongue down her throat. Carla kissed Stockton back and then shook her off.
Okay, maybe.
So what exactly is going on?
Rachell asked, confused by the conversation.
It's looking like Thatch's pseudo-girlfriend just fucked that dude that just left.
McKenzie told her. Rachel reared her head back.
What?
It's a long fucking story.
Do you need me to kick her ass?
Stockton pointed at Rachel with all 10 of her fingers.
Finally, someone else is speaking my language.
I just want to leave her the fuck alone, and I want her to leave me the fuck alone.
Thatch stated. He played it cool, but flames in his chest burned from a seeping cauldron in his gut. The ants grabbed fuel from other parts of his body and stirred the flames inside. He went to take a swig of beer, but it was empty. He ground his teeth, looking at the empty can.
I'll be back.
He walked to his room, put the rum on top of his fridge, stuffed his pockets with beers, and walked back out. When he got there, Samum was standing in his spot next to Rachel. Thatch took a deep breath and stood opposite of Rachel to her.
What's up?
Samum smirked at Thatch. Thatch lit a cigarette.
You know, drinking the night away.
Samum raised her eyebrows and nodded her head. Her eyes were starting to get bloodshot, and she reeked of white rum.
Did you get your forks?
Thatch tried to sound indifferent in his tone.
Nah, I didn't get around to that.
Samum bobbed her shoulders to the music that was playing by the fire. Morgan and Stockton stared Samum down. If their eyes were lasers, they'd have carved Samum in half. Samum bit the bottom of her lip and smiled. She noticed the way everyone was looking at her and leaned over into Thatch.
Hey, so I have a question.
What's that?
Thatch said, trying not to sound vexed at her very presence.
You know Russell a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Does he normally cheat on his girlfriend? What's her name? Crystal?
I don't think so. Why?
Well, we go over to my room, and he puts the beer in the refrigerator. Then he lies down on my bed and starts asking me shit like, why do you look so nervous? And like, what's up between you and me?
Okay. So that took an hour?
No. After that, I went to leave, and he wouldn't get out of my room. Then he hugged me for like 20 minutes and wouldn't let go of me, and then he got weird and aggressive and blocked the door, pretending like it wouldn't open before we finally came back out. Ugh.
Thatch licked the inside of his cheek, wondering how to deal with the situation for a moment before he saw that Russell was sitting at the fire ring.
Hey, Russell, get over here.
Russell looked around to see where the yell came from, then snaked his way through the crowd to Thatch's group.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Thatch put his hand on Russell's shoulder. Stockton put her knife in her hand.
So, Samum tells me a completely different story about tonight than you did earlier.
Oh, yeah?
A look of mild shock made its way to Russell's face.
Yeah, she's over here telling me that...
Oh, fuck no! No, fucking no!
She waved her hands from side to side and shook her head violently.
Fuck you!
Samum shot Thatch the bird and stormed off back towards her barracks.
Well, I guess that answers that question.
Dude, I told you that chick was nuts. You didn't think I actually did anything with her, did you?
Well, you know what it looks like? One of you two were lying to me, and now there's no doubt in my mind who it was.
Thatch!
Samum screamed from across the courtyard. He looked past Russell in the fire to see her still showing him her middle finger.
Get the fuck over me!
She slammed the glass door behind her and treaded off. Thatch rubbed his temples and groaned.
That bitch is a fucking psycho, and this is never gonna be fixed.
Nut job, am I right?
Yeah, you know what? You can fuck off too.
Thatch grimaced at Russell. Russell gave Thatch one nod.
Alright.
And disappeared into the night.
So you live an exciting life.
Rachel smirked.
Oh yeah, it's fucking great.
What did I tell ya?
Morgan shook her head.
Fuck that. What did I tell you?
Yeah, I know.
Thatch popped open a beer from one of his pockets. A loud, heavy crash boomed from Thatch's room. He groaned, and the group turned back to look into Thatch's window. Samum was standing inside, hate perched on her features.
Here's your shit!
She ran out of Thatch's room, screaming incoherently.
Can I kill her?
No, let's go see what she broke.
Thatch and Stockton walked to his room and found the painting he had made for her, the one that was hung on her wall, ripped and broken out of its frame. Thatch's heart fell through his chest like a lead ball and sunk all the way to Mars's iron core.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Thatch stood there, trying not to cry. It took him a moment to bottle up his feelings and turn them into hate, just so he wouldn't fall apart out of grief. He scooped up the pieces of the frame onto the canvas, lifted the mass, carried it out to the fire pit, and threw it into the flames.
You sure you should have done that?
Fuck that cunt.
Thatch growled in anger to mask his broken heart.
That painting might have been valuable someday.
Stockton tried to joke to cheer Thatch up.
I could paint more.
Thatch put the end of a cigarette in a flame burning on Samum's painted face and slowly burned the last cigarette in the pack, savoring the blue smoke as it resided in his lungs. He threw the empty pack in the fire and drowned out the music, laughter, and yelling from the party around him. He took a few deep breaths after the smoke was burnt.
I'm gonna go grab another pack from my room.
All right, man.
Thatch pulled a half-empty carton of Luckies out of his desk drawer and went to the fridge for another beer. The world around him was blurry, so he decided to drink a glass of water before he went back outside. As he downed the last sip of the iron-rich tap water, Samum let herself into his room. Thatch tossed his glass in the sink, shattering it into shards as it slammed against the metal basin.
Why not death instead?
Samum was visibly inebriated, with wild hair, angry bloodshot eyes, and sharp, snapping teeth. She screamed at him.
Why won't you let me have any friends?
What the fuck are you talking about?
You don't care about me. You only care about us.
Samum tapped the front of her shoulders and flung her hands into the air. She pointed her finger at Thatch and barked.
And I don't need your fucking love. You had to make such a big fucking deal. Nothing happened. You couldn't just let it go. God damn it.
Samum fumbled for half a second.
Way to make it a fucking disaster. I would have just left it if that's what you wanted. Now those guys think I'm a raving lunatic.
Thatch tried to compose himself. He felt every imaginable emotion towards her. Bitterness, hostility, regret, dejection, and heartache, as well as a yearning, for whatever reason he didn't understand, to just make things right with her.
Samum, look, I just wanted to clear things up. I'm fucking sorry. I have two people telling me different things, and one of them's a dude who was claiming to be my friend, then I'm gonna have to fucking put him in check for lying to me like that. If he said what you said he said to you, then that's fucked up and I can't be friends with him anymore. I just wanted to clear the water. He said, yeah, I didn't want you to think anything happened because I'm not gonna do one of my boys like that, and if he's telling me two different things, then I'm gonna have beef with him. I think it's kind of fucked up for a dude that I'm supposedly friends with to be so defensive about something like saying, I don't want to cause anything, then have you say he's lying to me. And if he's lying to me, I want to know. I'm sorry for ruining your fucking night.
Stop playing the fucking pity card. You know exactly why that shit went down. Now I can't even go out there. Russell's fucking furious, and it's because you're so fucking jealous that I can't speak to other human beings, and you can't stand yourself. Stop worrying about women and stick with your guy friends. Leave me out of your shit. You should have just left it all this alone. This is why I can't actually be friends with anyone who knows you. So fuck me.
Thatch had no idea what he should have said. Figuring that there wasn't any real way things could be worse between Samum and him, he just opened his mouth and let things roll.
If you want, I'll leave so you can enjoy the night. The only reason that came up was because you told me that he was being weird, and I was trying to clear things up, so I knew to be mad at him for acting like that.
You brought it up after everything was over. What, did you see me joking and having a good time, and you just had to make sure someone else was upset? We were cool, and it doesn't matter.
Samum, stop.
Thatch put his hands up with his palms facing her.
Just fucking stop. I get it. I'll stay in my room the rest of the night.
No. Go out, get drunk, and have fun with your fucking stupid friends. I have fucking had it with you.
Oh, you've had it with me? I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm tired of your bullshit. This wouldn't be so terrible if we could just sit down and work things out like adults, but no. You won't even meet me halfway, and you can't be bothered to give an honest answer about fucking anything. You're always so fucking cold and snide. I could ask you to come and talk things out, but you wouldn't even show up to the table, and even if you did, you'd find some way to make whatever we were fighting about my fault. Or we'd kiss and make up, and 2 days later you'd tell me that you didn't mean it like that, and then when you threw yourself at me and told me I meant something to you, which, by the way, knowing the way I feel about you, it's fucking cruel of you to do what you do to me. Honestly, I think you're just fucking with me. That's the only logical conclusion I can come to. I don't even know why I let you hurt me anymore. I should just shrug it off and move on. How about you apologize to me for fucking anything?
You want an apology? Maybe this is something you might understand. Think of how I talked to you and got your painting and you just wanted sex. I didn't want you to push it and you make me feel like a whore? Like it's what I'm supposed to be doing? Not ever like you love me, not ever like your painting portrayed me. I know it's a lot to ask. for intimacy, but you shouldn't have pressed it the first time. Or how about how I trusted you, thought you cared about me, then I find out you called me a whore behind my back. I've taken so many angles to look through your misogynist bullshit, the drama and the ridiculousness, just to see if an adult relationship could be made. I guess fucking you doesn't make me any more special than anyone else.
Yeah, you ride me, grab my balls and screaming, I'm gonna make you come. Is me fucking you like you're a whore? What the fuck am I supposed to think about you? You sleep with me, you tell me you care about me, you get mad if I don't kiss you tonight, and then I see you with someone else while you're on leave, and when I ask what the deal is, you tell me what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Then you give Gimmery your fucking phone number in my fucking room, by the way. Then we have a fight, and I don't even have to wait a goddamn hour before I see you dolled up going out with him. I haven't said anything to you about it because I don't know what to say, but I've caught you in a lie almost every day we've been together, but none of that matters, right? Because we're not actually dating, and I'm just fuck meat you can keep around when it's convenient for you. You think you're so fucking slick. Is that what you're mad about? Are you pissed off that I caught you in a lie and called you out on it? If you've got so much faith and glory, why the fuck is it that I see you and your ex together after you're done with me for the night? I guess I don't have feelings, or that they don't fucking matter, right? It's okay for you to run around with every other guy on base, for you to kiss people in the laundry room, which, by the way, I can see from the fucking smoke pit, then lie to me about where you've been, go out on dates with dudes literally in front of me, but I'm the asshole when I get upset because you get physical with me and leave me emotionally drained. Or for you to tell me bullshit like you're too oriented with your career or too busy for a relationship, but party all night and go out on dates right where I can fucking see you. I'm fucked up. That must be it. I'm fucked up. Go ahead and tell me that I'm the fucking problem.
Do not ever talk to me again. Fucking don't.
She slammed the door on her way out.
Ah!
Thatch screamed and threw his unopened beer at the door. The metal cracked, and the lager sprayed out of the can. He huffed for a moment, then took deep breaths to cool down. He bent over the sink and rubbed cold water into his emerald skin in an effort to cleanse his soul of the foulness festering inside of him. The world was starting to spin, but he could enunciate clearly and walk in a straight line. He grabbed a fresh cold beer, made sure he had his smokes, walked back outside and stood next to McKenzie, Chuck, Stockton, and Rachell.
So that was intense.
Stockton said sternly.
Oh, you heard that?
Thatch looked down at her.
We all did. Your window's open.
Chuck informed him. Thatch looked back at his room.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
You've got some intense female drama.
Rachell giggled at him.
Dude, I told you. Chick problems.
Rachell nodded her head.
Yeah. I don't know the full story, but she sounds insane.
She's definitely in the fucking wrong. She's been nothing but trouble. I've been telling him to keep away from her.
Stockton waved her hands in the air.
But no, don't listen to me.
Thatch shook his head and fired up another smoke.
Seriously, though? You need to get over that chick.
Yeah.
Thatch took in a deep drag, trying to keep the world straight. He focused his eyes on the fire, but two sets of flames danced in his vision. Rachell thought that she might be able to help Thatch's situation.
Have you tried just going after someone else? Maybe find someone else you'd want instead. Or at least find someone to make that girl jealous.
What Thatch really wanted was to just be left alone to sort out his thoughts. His mind was racing on two tracks and crashing into other cars on the highway in his mind.
Have you tried sucking my dick?
Rachell knew he was drunk and not to take that as a personal insult. But at the same time, she wasn't going to let anyone talk shit to her. She reared her head back and spat.
Actually, yes, I have. You want to fucking go again?
Thatch looked down at her.
Don't let your mouth cash checks that you're...
Rachell cut him off by pressing her lips to his. They ran their mouths together and wrestled with their tongues. Then, the spinning in Thatch's mind hit the fulcrum. His guts twisted, his body tightened, and steaming hot, brown liquid from his stomach fired up through his esophagus and shot down Rachel's throat. Thatch blacked out.
Hey everybody, what's up? Thanks for listening to another chapter so to chain smoke your problems away. I'd like to thank you all very much for tuning in and spending your precious few YouTube hours with me and all my friends who are getting together to make this. But then again, you are also my friends. You're helping out. You're enjoying the story. You're being entertained by our tale. Anyway, I'd also like to thank everybody who's following over on Patreon. They get these chapters as soon as I'm done with them, and they get them unedited. And I think right now we're on chapter 11 or 12 over on Patreon right now of book 5. So we're good in the head. And I've almost got all the voices together for book 6. So as soon as I'm done with that, I can roll straight into it over there. And with any amount of luck, I will be done with book 5 before we're done airing book 4 over on YouTube. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'd also like to thank YouTube channel members who get to watch these as soon as I upload them instead of having to wait till Wednesdays. And I'd like to thank everyone who's gotten the war chest. And the war chest is, the box set of these books. Well, I guess there's technically 3 versions of it. You get the war chest, which is the first 6 books of the Smokepit fairy tale series with stickers, cards, and a patch, and it comes in a custom painted 50 cal ammo can, and I put a pin in this map for wherever they go. The War Chest Mark II is almost the same thing, except for it's the last 6 books, but it's still got cards and stickers and a patch and all that, and it still gets a pin in the map, and they both get a colored pin that goes in the map as to where the War Crate, which is it's both of the War Chests, and it's put together in a big actual fucking ammo crate thing. They get the white pens. But anyway, I'd like to thank all of you for that. And then Patreon people and YouTube members and people who've got war chest, all their names get to go in the credits of these videos here on YouTube. So that's a little just extra bonus thing for you. Other than that, I don't really have too much news. I had some buddies in this weekend. We raised some hell. It was a good time. One of my buddies, Bobby, he imported a Hilux. It was right-hand drive. It's diesel. It's fun. Fun fact, those things are not rated for sub-zero temperatures. So if by chance you have one, keep it off ice. Trust me. But yeah, besides that, don't have too much news. I have been thinking though, and I would like your input on this. And it wouldn't be an immediate thing, but it would still be on this channel. But people keep asking me and DMing me, and they have forever, about like, hey, how do I, write a book? What is your advice for character or story development, and like, hey, how do you put these audiobook things together the way you do? And I'm contemplating doing a series on I guess writing, how to write a book, how to produce the audiobook type stuff. And I'm thinking that might be something else that I do on this channel at some point. But I want your guys' input if that's something you'd want, or if that's just something I'd kind of be doing for myself. You let me know. All right, well, anyway, it's already Monday. This video's got to be up by Wednesday, and it's already longer than shit, so I don't want to keep you too long, because I would like to actually get this video up on time. Long weekend. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun too. But yeah, I'm rambling. I should have written a script for this. But yeah, no, anyway, let me know what you think. If the how-to videos would be something you'd want, or if there's something else you like, put that in the comments. We'll get to it. Anyway, thank you again to everybody for tuning in. Thank you again for the Patreon people. Thank you again for the War Chest purchasers, and thank you very much to the YouTube members. All right, I will catch you soon. You have a good day, and here are the bloops. Ciao.
Testing 1 2 3.
Chapter 30, fucking my heart in the ass.
Okay, all right. I do the things now. I'm very excited to read through this, insane fight of bitchitude. So... Here we go. This is Hollis reading for Samum, Chapter 30, Take 1, Fucking My Heart in the Ass. All right, this is not funny. Samum's a bitch. All right, the end. All right.
A heart has 4 holes. 2 of them are on the bottom side, so yeah, I think a heart can get DP'd.
Can I kill her?
I hope you're doing well today. I just got back from voting. I am recording this on November 5th, and I am telling you this for 2 reasons. The first one being, it's November 5th. I voted. That's what I was out doing today. And then I'm spending the rest of the day doing this. Voice recording and editing. If there was someone out there who just so happened to steal the Declaration of Independence, it wasn't me.
You know what? That's just distant. That's distant lawn mowing. That's what that is.
Samum walks up to the grills and she hugs Stockton because, country.
Can I kill her?
Real quick sound check to make sure the levels are still consistent. Can we get air traffic control to send me a fucking memo on I want to get looped in.
When are you guys getting this? April? May? April or May? April or May time frame, you guys should be getting this? On YouTube?
Yeah, man. Oh, it's probably not deep enough.
I think I'm going to go get those forks now. Which is code for I'm a giant cunt. It's very subtle, but it's there. Yeah, you just have to speak it. You have to speak the language of country.
Can I kill her?
Dude, I told you that chick was nuts.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you fuck my heart in the ass.
Anyway.
You didn't think I actually... Oh, fuck me. God damn it.
All right, I'm going to make some predictions real quick. either Donald Trump or Kamala Harris won. And then for 2 or 3 months, we had to listen to whoever lost bitch about how the election was stolen. The losing side also had a bunch of non-election related autistic screeching. And nothing is any better than it was in November when I'm recording this. If anything, the economy tanked. Like worse than it had been. I am still not famous. And this channel has approximately 2,500 followers. And or Jesus Christ returned with Harambe and Peanut and that raccoon. Also, happy Guy Fawkes Day, Brit friends.
Stay tuned, kids!
Samum very probably fucks Russell or tries to. And they come back an hour later.
Dude, Samum, god damn. God, Trip, why'd you write this? Jesus.
Now I get to reset wherever the fuck I was with my voice so I can try to go do all of the rest of,
After that...
Yeah, I feel fucked.
You know what? I finally decided you weren't sober when you wrote it, so, why would I be sober when I read it?
You'd seen on the internet that Misha had done some freakishly aggressive Oh, God. Oh, God.
And I don't think you fucking love... I don't need your fucking love. We're gonna start that one again from the top.
Yeah, man. Ducks' dicks fall off every time they fuck. Then they have to grow it back. Damn it.
Supposed to do that the other way around, Chief. Ah!
But every time you came, you'd turn back.
That actually explains things calmly. Well, maybe he's not. He's probably not calm. He shouldn't be calm. But he makes sense.
Anytime somebody drinks rum in this book, it goes bad. It's like a theme.
All right, take 2. See if I can get a little better this time.
Oh, Kit Kat. Mommy's okay. Mommy's okay. I promise Mommy's okay.
Like you can casually sip whiskey. You can only fuck up on rum.
Ask me if I wanted to go on vacation with her. Motherfucker, that's the furnace. As soon as I started recording, that's great. Okay, cool. Sign of things to come.
They're gonna take too long to come back from that, aren't they?
Oh, baby boy. Mommy's okay. Mommy's just acting. Okay. Mommy's just acting. I promise. I promise I'm just acting. I'm okay. Mommy's just being a bitch. But I'm not actually mad at anybody. Especially not you. Okay. Oh, this is still recording. Okay. All right, I'm going to put you down because Mommy has to yell a little bit more, all right? All right, but I'm okay. Mommy happy. Okay? Okay, be sweet. I promise I'm okay. All right. I just said the line.
Also, real quick, secondary prediction, the squirrel Peanut won the election. And I don't mean that people went and voted for Trump because of what happened to that squirrel. I mean, he was risen from the dead like a little squirrely Jesus Christ, and we voted him in the office. All right, let's start this over again, because the fan was on.
Samum. Well, we go over to my room, and he put the beer in the refrigerator. Then he lies down on my bed and starts asking me shit like, why do you look so nervous? And like, what's up between you and me? Suddenly Russell's story sounds a lot more believable. Like she just kept him there to make her story sound plausible.
Come on, dude. Fucking Jesus Christ, man. There's only 2 programs open.
The end. I wish. For Thatch's sake, I wish it were.
For the party. I'm taking my beers with me. You're weird. I'd rather have warm beers than whatever this is going to cause. He could have got Stockton stabbed, you know? Like,
why are you fucking freezing? You fucking bitch.
That's blacked out.
Okay, this is Hollis reading for Samum. This will be take 2 of chapter 30. And I'm going to try to make it through this recording without Kit Kat getting really upset. But we'll find out. I can't. Gunner's not home, so I can't like hand him off to the hubs and be like, keep this cat from getting upset. And he does know how to open doors, so I can't actually shut him out of the room. So anyway, yeah. If my cat child becomes upset again, you will hear me consoling him, but I promise to jump right back in once he's okay with the fact that I'm yelling.
Dog, please, man, sit down.
Thatch blacked out.
God damn it, dude, it is fucking October. You do not need to mow the lawn!
All right, later that night, bloop, bloop, bloop. Samum stands behind them. They have conversation times. That's, perfectly normal. But then Samum's... She can't do normal.
Thatch blacked out.
I swear to God, dude, you gotta stop hitting that bitch right the fuck now.
Thatch blacked out.
This motherfucker has mowed over the same fucking plot of grass 16 fucking times! God damn it, man! Look! There's no reason to be fucking doing this. Go take your old ass back inside, man. Fuck! You do not need to mow the lawn because you're fucking bored!
Thatch blacked out.
Let's try this fucking again. Jesus fucking Christ.
Rachell, on the other hand.
The end. It was a beautiful evening.